Breaking right now, Meghan Markle has spent the past 48 hours trying to recover from the desperate and disastrous reaction to her Harper's Bazaar cover shoot, including posting new behind-the-scenes video where a sycophantic man claims that she's a 10 out of 10. At the same time, we've learned more information about exactly how she's getting around America. Yes, another rich friend has started loaning her a private jet. I'll come to that in just one moment. But I have to say, some of the reaction to this shoot has just been cracking me up. Look at this from Meghan's mole. Psycho Meghan Markle is always cosplaying someone else. That someone else being Victoria Beckham, who we know is her enemy. But actually, this one made me laugh a little bit more. One is a British legend. The other is Meghan Markle. It's so good, isn't it? By the way, no wonder Netflix has pulled the plug. Look at these statistics that the royal grift was able to hunt down. 34,000 dislikes for the trailer of the holiday celebration, just 1.9 thousand likes. That is a ratio that I don't believe YouTube would ever have seen before. So we're going to be getting into all of this today with Brittany, who is the brilliant editor of the even more brilliant Royal News Network. But first, Brittany, I want to go to these new revelations over the weekend from the Daily Mail, headlined, "The woman giving Harry and Meghan the royal life they can no longer afford, complete with lavish homes and a private jet." Now, the woman in question is Victoria Jackson. And this is how the Mail's reported it. "When you are a friend of Victoria Jackson, there is clearly no shortage of places to stay. She is, after all, the Queen of Cosmetics, and as such has fabulous homes on the Upper East Side in New York, in the heart of Beverly Hills, and between the mountains and the Pacific Blue in Montecito. And now it can be revealed that the generous septuagenarian makeup tycoon has been loaning them all to her pal, the Duchess of Sussex. It was Jackson's imposing New York brownstone where Meghan was announced to her Harper's Bazaar interview by a house manager. Do you remember that last week? Introducing the Duchess of Sussex. There's no one there and you're not a real Duchess. But a well-connected source says that Meghan and Prince Harry habitually stay there when they have business in the city. So this woman's a complete enabler. What is she thinking? Indeed, they were staying there in 2023, where there was a disputed car chase with paparazzi. Exquisitely appointed, the property boasts the interior glass elevator and a kitchen with oak worktops, noted in the magazine's cover interview. They have been staying there for years. They always stay at Jackson's houses, says the source. I'm told that Jackson's home in Los Angeles is also used as a base by the couple. They are understood to have stayed there 2 weeks ago before controversially going to Kris Jenner's 70th birthday. Meghan also uses Jackson's other mansion in Montecito. Indeed, she had her 31st birthday party there in 2021 rather than at her own home. The following year, she met an interviewer from The Cut there. It's a venue that's also proved popular with children Archie and Lilibet, who apparently love petting the micro pigs Jackson keeps there. Victoria's houses make their place in Montecito look like a prison or a beach shack. Alison Boshoff, the Mail reporter, is told it suits them for security. The houses are unbelievable and they don't have to pay at all, which is appealing. What's more, the generous Jackson apparently lends the couple her Falcon private jet for trips. This will save them hundreds of thousands of dollars and allow them to travel with enhanced security. So, Brittany, we knew there was another sucker on the scene, okay, because Elton John's had enough. Tyler Perry has had enough because they turned their back on him as soon as he was, accused of sexual harassment, misconduct. And this is the woman, where it's all coming from. The houses and the private jets. The grift is back on.
The grift is always back on, Dan, and you gotta say that Harry and Meghan are always looking for somebody to fund their lifestyle because they just simply cannot do it themselves. Meghan wants to act like a billionaire on barely a millionaire's salary. And so she is constantly trying to find somebody who's just a sucker, somebody who is interested in giving them their homes and private jets and all these sorts of things. And the reality though is that sure, Victoria's maybe is willing to do this now, but as we've seen with other, so-called friends, at some point Meghan and Harry always wear out their welcome because they do it too much, too often. And Meghan really wants, I think, to have this ultra luxurious lifestyle. But unfortunately for Meghan, she doesn't have a lot of talent. And she is, in my opinion, a rather lazy businesswoman. And so she's never going to achieve the things that she wants to. And so she constantly has to suck on other people and siphon off their wealth, their influence in order to prop up herself. Because unfortunately, a magic title or a royal title, yes, it is very impressive, but it's not a magic wand. It doesn't imbue you with certain things like talent and abilities and all these sorts of things that Meghan and Harry clearly lack. So Meghan, I'm sure, is working on Victoria now, but at some point she's going to move on to somebody else. But will more people be there to pick up the slack? That's the big question, because at some point it'll get around that Harry and Meghan are only friends with you if you have a private jet they can borrow.
So true. And Brittany, we know Meghan's strategy when something goes very wrong. Let's flood the zone. The Harper's Bazaar thing went very wrong. So over the weekend, we get what Meghan believes is like a game-changing move in social media. Her little 2-minute videos, which are what she claims is going to be the big creative outlet post losing the Netflix deal, being dumped creatively. But actually, Brittany, when I watched this, I honestly was like, Meghan is the worst host in the world. I'm not actually joking, Brittany. Like, remember, this is a woman who has more money than sense, who has staff, and she just doesn't want to do a damn thing for anyone. She's a lazy cow. Okay, half of you watching this are not subscribed to Dan Wootton Outspoken, and the best way you can support what we do is by hitting that subscribe button. It is completely free, and turn on the notification bell to be alerted to our new episodes.
I thought the same thing, Dan. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was like, oh my gosh, she is the laziest hostess in the world. She even buys frozen pancakes. Pancakes are really easy to make.
Yeah, and she thinks that this makes her accessible, right? It's like, no, this just makes you lazy. But Brittany, let's watch this together. I thought it was so bad.
To do when I have guests over for the holidays, especially when you have a lot of people and everyone has a different preference for breakfast. You just create stations and they can help themselves. This I had gotten from a vintage store and I love it. This is our raspberry. Actually a really nice way to add to a little yogurt parfait station. Start with some jam, do a nice yogurt on top. Yes, you could do a yogurt parfait in a normal bowl, or you can just make it a little bit more special. All of this is great for kids. If you don't want to make pancakes, don't make pancakes. You just get the ones that are in the freezer section. I like having some of the fruits whole and the rest sliced in half.
Slice them in half. What a...
And on this one, let's put some whipped cream. Groundbreaking. The remaining strawberry and raspberry jam that we have. Fan favorite in my house.
Looks awful.
Oh, she's actually tasting her own product.
And my favorite things for breakfast with the large group is having quiche. So one of two things, if you have just a great quiche, again, grocery store or make it yourself, you can leave it out if you know people are gonna wake up right around now. Otherwise, I would just write a little note that says, morning, help yourselves, quiche is in the oven. Where you're just presenting it in a way that feels a little bit more enticing.
It looks
and
awful.
People can wake up in the morning and feel cared for, which I think is half of the joy of the holiday.
It's so bad.
Cared for? You've literally bought a quiche from the supermarket and got your staff to put it in the oven and shoved it out with a note. That is the opposite of cared for. But the thing that is most astonishing to me, Brittany, I mean, you know, I've used this term basic bitch when it comes to her lifestyle stuff. And she's a total basic bitch, right? This is not a woman who is good at hosting. I know she talks about it all the time. She thinks she's a great host. She's not. She is an awful host, and that is proven by that video, Brittany. It's the worst so far. I mean, it's laughable. It's laughable. I mean, what are we learning from her? What are we learning? Buy a quiche, buy a frozen quiche, put it in the oven. Put it in the oven. Buy some frozen pancakes, put it in the oven. Slob some whipped cream. Slob some of your raspberry, awful, it's not even jam, is it? Raspberry seed. Slob it on, slobber it on. And then, Brittany.
And she's still calling it jam.
Yeah, and it's not. It's not.
And
Legally,
it's not. It's not. That's not what she's selling.
And then, Brittany, the Einstein idea, cut the strawberry in half. Wow, Meghan. I mean, I'm literally the worst person in the world in the kitchen. Even I know about that. I mean, God, sorry. I just thought it was so bad. I genuinely thought it was the worst yet.
It is. And if you think about it, obviously this week is Thanksgiving in the United States. So a lot of people travel to various families' homes and these sorts of things where they have big groups that they have to feed. And my mom has hosted, 8 to 10 people in her house. And yes, sometimes you do have people who kind of cycle through as they're going through for breakfast, but oftentimes everybody wants to eat together. And so you make everything. And I could also not help but think about, okay, if you have a large group that you're allegedly hosting, why would you use a fancy, probably hard to clean set to put in your spreads, not jam, Megan, spreads, which you have to clean later because the amount of dishes you have to simply do to host a large gathering is also a big factor. And so you just get the sense as watching this that Meghan does not host large groups. If she does, she has a ton of help. She does not do any of the cleaning. She does not do really any of this prep. I mean, she does nothing. And so she is the laziest hostess. And unfortunately, because she is so lazy, because she really doesn't have many people to host, because this woman has no family that she really has contact with, how in the world are you supposed to take her advice? The answer is you can't. She has no clue what she's talking about.
It's
And if
just
she
so
does host
dull.
people, it's lazy. It's so
Yeah.
bad.
It's so dull. Like, Brittany, there's nothing new. Like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's nothing
one of her shitty
nothing
calligraphy
groundbreaking there.
notes. Like, no. Anyway, so bad. But look, let's talk
Yeah.
about the fallout from this interview because it has continued all weekend, Brittany. Shooter Scoop, Rob Shooter, now reporting that she actually even demands the use of her title, Brittany, at the gym and at Starbucks. He writes, Meghan Markle is making headlines again, this time for a detail buried deep in a Harper's Bazaar profile that has the internet buzzing. Writer Caitlin Greenidge casually notes that staff announce Meghan as Meghan Duchess of Sussex everywhere she enters a room. One source sniped, if there's a doorway, a hallway, or a yoga mat, trust me, someone is whispering the title first. Greenidge's piece is glossy and glowing until that one razor-sharp line, which insiders say cuts through the PR polish like a dagger. Meghan's fans insist she's simply following protocol. Critics are calling it peak diva behavior. Fashion insiders, they're cackling, suggesting Meghan cares more about her title than any cover shoot she's rumoured to chase. As one editor joked, forget Vogue, the only cover she wants is the one where she gets introduced as the Duchess on loop. Even at the gym and Starbucks, she insists on being introduced as the Duchess. I mean, it's so embarrassing, Brittany.
It is. And honestly as well, Dan, it is sort of the worst aspects of what people think about royals. This is very stereotypical. What people think of royals in the worst way is that they're demanding certain things, that they want to be referred to as their title at all times, and that they are walking through with this very much entitled air about them. And Meghan left the royal family after 18 months. She was barely there. She spent double or triple the time now outside the royal family than she spent in it. And she's constantly, once the Duchess of Sussex, their royal ciphers on literally everything. And it's embarrassing. It's pathetic. It is desperate, definitely for sure. And this whole idea that some people have speculated that Meghan and Harry are just constantly using them. So if they get taken, people still associate their name with it. No. We all still call her Meghan Markle. She will always be Meghan Markle. I mean, she just has to look to Catherine, the Princess of Wales, to know that, hey, your maiden name is the one sometimes that tends to stick more than the title. And I think once the title is gone, a lot of the friends that she allegedly has will definitely sort of start to back away. But this is just absolutely pathetic, disgusting behavior. She doesn't need to do it. She's not in the royal sphere anymore. And again, how much more successful would her and Harry be if they had left the royal titles in the UK and just tried to make it as, let's say, Harry and Meghan Sussex or Harry Windsor or Harry Mountbatten Windsor and Meghan Markle? They would be so much better off than they are now. But the insistence on using the titles, especially in the States, I think turns off a lot of Americans. And if you're being very demanding about it on top of that, you're just not going to win friends and influence people.
And Brittany, what did you think of her sharing all of this backstage footage, where it's like, oh, I'm just so coy and I'm just such a down-to-earth gal. And yeah, they're saying I'm 10 out of 10 and the editor's coming up to give me a hug. I mean, Does she
I mean,
think this
it's
is working? Does she think that we really believe that this shows that she's an accessible, nice human being? Is that why she
mm,
does it? But first, the number one worst fruit for your waistline. Are you turning healthy fruits into highly unhealthy fruits without even realizing it? Fruit can be one of the healthiest things you can put into your body, but the majority of Americans are guilty of making this single mistake that can counteract all of the health benefits of fruit. Some fruits help with occasional constipation, reduce bloating, and even help burn calories. Others can wreak havoc on your digestive system and energy levels. I came across this viral presentation from world-renowned surgeon Dr. Stephen Gundry that showcases the 3 fruits to stop eating today. And it was shocking. I had no idea. And after finding it out, I've stopped eating these too. I'm going to put a link for you all to watch it because I want you to gain this information. I think it's truly important. You can watch it right now at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. That's thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. I also linked it in the description box below the video too, so make sure to click on it or just go to thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. Oh, and by the way, eliminating these fruits could forever change the way we help increase energy levels, decrease brain fog, support digestion, and even lose weight. So make sure to click below or go to thehealthyfat.com/outspoken to find out now. Dr. Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself using his research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. His digestive issues are gone, his health is fantastic, and he feels younger and healthier today than he did in his 40s. His video has been watched by over 20 million people to date, and you can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. It's linked at the bottom of this video, but he'll teach you exactly how he has kept his weight off for free at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. Just click on the link in the description below the video. But now, back to the show.
it's so hard to know, but there is a very much an aspect of Megan that very much is living like in the early 2000s, where she thinks like getting on the cover of Harper's Bazaar is somehow a big coup. No, it's probably actually if she teamed up with some sort of TikTok star or something, that would be actually what sets tongues a-blazing. I mean, mainstream media is pretty much dead. Megan constantly relies on them to try and get attention. And this cover shoot is awful. It is awful in every sort of way. The outfits are bad. She looks terrible in pretty much every single picture. They're not flattering. She looks like she's, of course, cosplaying her mother-in-law or cosplaying other people. And so it's just a really pathetic display. And looking coy in behind the scenes videos really means nothing. Sure, Megan may have somebody who's willing to tell her she's a 10 out of 10, but don't talk to me until she's, let's say fix the problem of world hunger or something. She's just literally standing there or sitting there for a photo shoot. This is nothing groundbreaking. This is nothing particularly interesting. It's just another lame attempt by a woman who has used her PR as a battering ram to try and get ahead. But all it does is remind people there's no talent there at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, there is no talent. Of course not.
Mm.
But I just think, again, all of this shoot was so badly judged. It enhanced nothing, Brittany. I mean, was this meant to be PR for the Netflix show or the Was Never drop? I mean, it's all so complicated. And indeed, we're just laughing at her.
We are. And Dan, you're so right. When you look at the article and you read through, and I've read through the whole thing, there just doesn't seem to be any point to it, because if you're doing a big spread like this, it should be to promote a show, promote a brand, promote a company, promote a movie. Like, these are why these cover shoots are set up. And really, with Love, Megan is only mentioned one single time. As ever, I think is only mentioned once or twice as well. And there's nothing in depth about either of those. In fact, she's recycling, she's going over again the dish soap commercial. She's hanging out with young girls who are interested in STEM or go to a STEM specific school, which is like science, technology, and engineering. And it's like, why? What is the point of that? There's no real there. And this again goes back to this idea that Megan has used pretty much her entire career in Hollywood and the royal life is that she pays so much for PR to make up for her inadequacies. And she thinks that shoving herself on a cover is going to make you forget either X, Y, or Z, or going to make you respect her more. But it actually makes me respect her less because there's nothing she's promoting. There's no really reason for her to have the cover. In fact, the thing she should be promoting, her show, she doesn't even talk about. And so it's all there again for the fakery, the artifice of her life and her persona rather than it having substance. There is no substance to Meghan Markle. We have seen this cycle repeat endlessly. She can only redo the same 10 tropes all the time, and it's getting quite boring and dull, and she needs to figure out a new shtick at this point.
She really does. She really does. And you contrast it to Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who's actually doing quite a lot of brave stuff, Brittany. And I want to come to her big move on addiction and addicts in just one moment. But first, Roman Kemp, who's a big star here in the UK, TV and radio presenter, has been talking about Catherine and when she visited him and his family. And the Mirror's reporting it this way, that the princess offered to remove her shoes when visiting Martin Kemp and Shirley's home to film mental health content. And God, it's a contrast, Brittany, isn't it? It is just such a contrast, as always. You know, here, totally unprompted, another story about what Catherine's like. And the details are fascinating. You know, she turns up at the house, Brittany. There's no paparazzi outside. She offers to take her shoes off because everyone else has taken their shoes off. Of course, they say, oh, don't even worry about it. But she does. Do you know what I mean? The shoes come off because she wants to be like everyone else. And then afterwards, they receive a beautiful handwritten note thanking the family for their time. It is absolutely fascinating, just that insight into how she works.
And it's a great contrast again to how, again, Catherine exemplifies what we want from royalty, which is, yes, you have titles, you have a tiara you can wear, you have, Bentleys, chauffeured Bentleys to take you around. But at the same time, you have to have this quality of being down to earth and being able to communicate with people and not, let's say, just relying on your title, having those personal connections. And again, it can be something as simple as looking and going, hey, everybody's shoes are over here by the door. So I guess I should take my shoes off too because everybody else is doing it. And I want to be respectful of the home. I can imagine Meghan Markle, although she's obsessed with her bare feet, just going, well, I'm Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. You need to not only announce me, but I'm too good to take off my shoes in your home. Whereas Catherine just wanted to be like everybody else, wanted to communicate with them, wanted to have this moment of interaction and wanted it to be informal. That way, even though there's a somewhat formality to it, that people feel the ability to open up and share their experiences. And again, I think that's just such an critically important thing to share and to note. And it again goes to how royals must balance sort of this new modern world, which is, yes, again, you have this very elevated position. You get to wear these exceptional clothes and do these exceptional things, yet you also have to touch the everyman in a very common and easy way. And I think Catherine really does exemplify that to the nth degree. And I think this is a fantastic story to demonstrate those abilities.
Yeah, I think it is. And then, Brittany, we come to the big move today, which made the front page of a couple of the newspapers here. Addiction and addicts specifically. And Catherine's really going there. She said, proud to be patron of the Ford Trust this Addiction Awareness Week. Addiction is not a choice or a personal failing, but a complex mental health condition that should be met with empathy and support. And again, to me, Brittany, this is about the new bravery that we're seeing from Catherine in her work.
Yes. And I think because, Dan, of her cancer diagnosis and experience, I think she does come at these situations very differently than she did before. And I think William, in a lot of ways, as well. Now, while I do actually a little bit disagree with some of the language there, particularly that addiction is not a choice, because oftentimes it's a choice to get sober or what have you. I do understand that, yes, it's a very complex emotional thing. And for those who are battling with addiction, is a lifelong struggle, honestly, to get through those situations. And so I think this is an incredibly important topic to tackle. And I think we will see Catherine again continue to go down this path and try to address this issue to the best of her abilities and enact again what royals are great at doing is raising awareness and attracting support to organizations, let's say, who are helping those struggling with addiction. That is what modern royals do. They attract support and financial benefits and these sorts of things to these organizations through their connections. And I think Catherine through this week is just going to be focusing on that issue. We will see her, I believe, on the 27th. And so Catherine is constantly going to be growing in this role. And I think, again, her own personal health struggles put a lot of things in perspective. And I think that's a great help to the monarchy going forwards.
Yeah, what might not be a great help to the monarchy going forwards, Brittany, is Fergie. Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York. Didn't take long, did it, to find out that she's fishing for cash. Front page of The Sun newspaper over the weekend with the revelation that she's weighing up a 6-figure offer for a tell-all TV interview. And they report that she's considering offers. US channels said to be willing to pay that because it would be the first chat since losing her Duchess of York title. Palace aides worried at what Fergie may say. Sources said they fear that she'll go rogue now that she is out of the royal family. And it's looking like Oprah Winfrey is the contender, given that she has spoken with her before. One source said the royals are bound to worry at the prospect, but there's not much they can do to stop her. Andrew has had his chance to tell his story. Now it's Fergie's time. I mean, Brittany, I find it astonishing that Oprah Winfrey would want to go there after the damage that was done by her Oprah Winfrey interview, because would she really be prepared to challenge Fergie, who, let's be honest, has been much more of a friend over the past few years?
Well, we've seen with the Harry and Meghan interview that Oprah Winfrey is just not really interested in actually asking good questions and knowing the intricacies of royal life and being able to ask those really key questions. She obviously sidestepped so many of those in the Harry and Meghan interview, much to her detriment, I think, in many ways. But it'll get headlines if she does the interview. And at the end of the day, Hollywood, Oprah, and these types, they're all just sort of interested in the paycheck. They might stand on principle in some things, but really they just want to get whatever success they can out of a situation, whatever money they can. So I think Oprah would definitely be a strong contender here. And this again goes back to the problem of rogue royals and how you deal with them, because this has been a long-standing issue with Fergie for years and years and years. Sarah has always gone to where there is cash. She is always in debt. And so she's pretty much willing to do almost anything, contact anyone. Again, this is how we got into the Jeffrey Epstein situation, sort of in the first place for her, willing to seek out anyone in order to make some money. And this is no exception. And again, this goes back to the problem of you need to address the Harry and Meghan thing as well, because in 30 years, Sarah is what Meghan will become. So they have to address this. They don't really have any options with Sarah at this point. And it just got to such an extent that there's really no change, no going backwards. And while I do think Sarah will do her utmost in many ways to protect the monarchy because she wants to protect her daughters, I would imagine the clause, let's say, will truly come out if her daughters are stripped of their titles at some point in the future. I think that's when things will really, really change. But this is not a surprise. Of course, she was going to do this. She needs the money. She can't publish her books anymore. This was always the path she was unfortunately going to go down.
It was absolutely inevitable. And of course, this is one of the reasons that King Charles would argue, well, this is why I tried to keep her in the fold. But oh, what a mess. We've got much more coming up over on Substack for our Royal Uncancelled After Show. Meghan Markle is now endorsing a revolting troll who is part of the Sussex squad to come after Lady Colin Campbell. This is really shocking stuff. So we're going to get into it all over at www.outspoken.live. Paid monthly or annual subscribers to my Substack get first access to the Royal Uncancelled After Show every single weekday, Monday to Friday. You can watch live or on demand with no advertising whatsoever. Substack's a really important platform for me. So if you do want to support Outspoken, I would ask that you do join me over there. www.outspoken.live. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.